This is going to be a little bit of a deeper video, and I'm gonna talk about how I hadn't realized. You do know that kind of stuff, but you don't until you live it. But immigrant life sucks, and I don't mean immigrant life as in you're a corporate executive or a CEO or a manager or something, and you get transferred between countries, and your family goes with you, like your wife, your kids, and you got a good job and a good structure, and you're all set up. I don't mean that kind of immigration. I mean more of the rough and more common kind of immigration where you're really moving to a country and you're starting from below and you don't know the language and maybe you're there illegally and all that. Like, honestly, let's talk about my situation specifically. I'm in Australia and I'm here legally. Obviously, I have a visa for that. uh, I'm yeah, I speak English, obviously, as you've been noticing, which is the language of the country. So already off the bat, I'm on easy mode, and still it's so hard. It's been so hard to me because I'm alone now, and all of my family is not only far, but I was making like some doing the math and all that, and like there's no one I know at a 10,000 mile radio of me. Like, do you have any idea how far that is? Like, I'm here with this in this room and all that, and there's nobody I know in this house, but there's also nobody I know in the neighborhood and in the city and in the country and in the continent and in this half of the world, and you feel so lonely. And I had never thought of that. And imagine adding onto that loneliness, uh, low tier jobs, low skill jobs, like jobs that most immigrants take, like being a waiter, being a janitor, a cleaner, or kitchen hand or whatever, like those types of jobs, or even harder jobs actually, like, I don't know, uh, construction, all that kind of thing, and working 50, 60 hour weeks and going back to your own little place, your own little room in a shared apartment or in a shared whatever, because you're an immigrant. And imagine just doing that 50, 60 hours a week without having any family to go to, without having any friends to go to, without understanding what people are saying to you because you don't speak the language, in constant fear of being deported. And that is insane. Like, obviously it's hard. Obviously, if you think about it, like any of you, you'd think, oh, is immigration in that circumstance easy? You'd be like, yeah, no, probably not. But having lived through that without the language barrier and without the without many of those things, and I already think it's hard. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm living immigrant life in easy mode, and I still think it's really hard. I still think it's really, really rough to be that far away from your family, to be that far away from everyone and everything you know. And you think it's just family and friends, but it's actually culture. Because cultures, even between countries that speak the same language, are so vastly different. And then you have to adapt. And it's obviously, since you're there, it's you who are meant to adapt. It makes sense. But still, you have to adapt to everything. And there's so many barriers, language or otherwise, that you have to overcome. And there's no one to go to. Like, if you're really, really tired, you're just going to go get back home. There's going to be nobody there. And then I'm only doing that for a few months because I only want to save some money to go back to traveling. But imagine doing that for a year, for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20, for 25 years. I know, not personally, but I know Latinos who have gone to the US. They've immigrated there illegally, and they've been there for 25 years, and they're still illegal. So, like, it's been 25 years, a few of those years maybe without knowing the language, because some people learn it more slowly than others and all that. So for a few years without learning the language, working a dead-end job, really, really struggling, sharing everything, sharing maybe like an apartment or maybe even rooms. I know people who share rooms in Ireland, for example, who are immigrants. They're not illegal, but still. And then living every day of your life with the fear of being deported. I'm not saying it's not an immigration video. It's not like, oh, it should be that way, it should be that. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is immigrant life is really, really hard, and I am very, very weak, because even though I have like one of the easiest possible modes of an immigrant life, I'm still struggling. Like, even though I speak the language and I'm here legally and it's only temporary, and uh, I'm not working that many hours a week. I mean, I'm working a lot, but not that much. Uh, even though all of those things, even though I'm in a reasonably nice place that I'm living in and all that, with all those books and all that, like I clearly have it on easy mode, and it's still hard. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around how hard it would be for people who do not have all those privileges that I did and that I am currently having. And it made me grow in empathy for them, because it also means that for them to embrace that and not give it up on 2 or 3 months, because they could be deluded, right? They could be like following a dream that doesn't really exist. But if they move to a country and they stay there, imagine how rough their lives were before, for them to still think it's worth it. Like if they're in the US or Australia or the UK or wherever they immigrated to, and they're having that much struggle, that many struggles, and they're still not going back to their home country. Imagine how much it must suck in their home country. But yeah, immigrant life sucks. It's okay. I still have to put through a few months of more or less what I'm doing now, and I'm partially excited to it because I've been learning a lot and I've been growing a lot as a person. So I'm not saying it's not worth it, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not. I'm not gonna say it's not fun. It has its fun moments, but it's not easy and it's not glorifying. It's not like traveling, because I was traveling for a while, and most of the traveling you're doing really cool stuff, whereas like you go back to a day-to-day reality, and it's just like your life back home, except for the social support and the understanding of culture. You lose that and you win pretty much nothing else, except for a higher salary, of course. Yeah, but I would still say it's worth it in my case, but definitely analyze it on a case-to-case basis, because it might be much, much harder than you are thinking it is.